last year, a little bit late.
Yeah.
Did you discuss stove grates? I have grates over my stove now to cover the whole thing.
What do you mean great? Yeah.
3 separate pieces. Yeah.
You spread the heat. You spread the heat by putting something down on top of it.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Gershon, you put a blech.
I thought that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Or you can stick them in the oven, right? And self clean them. Right?
What?
I can stick them in my stove, in my oven, and just self clean.
You can stick it in. I should have said that. I didn't say that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, you could stick it into the self clean.
Yeah, but some grates you could damage the color.
Right.
Yeah. So what? What are you so fancy, Aaron?
So what?
Avi,
you're
come
worried
on,
about
you
someone
today,
buying
Avi.
some perfumes. You know what I mean? You try ruining those grates a whole year. It's a lot worse. You may want to start wearing lipstick.
My wife don't care about those grates because the first year I think when someone named Stein told us we had to stick them in the stuff in the oven, and that was that, and they became yucky, and they've been yucky ever since.
She just cares that you're grading on her. That's all.
As per usual, always and forever.
Yeah.
Yaakov, I got confused by the perfume thing again. Perfume is fine even if you can be distilled in a lab. I mean,
For you, Avi, it's fine.
thank you. That's all
See that? From Yaakov, we learned good from you. We gave him that sock already before.
Did you?
he came
Okay,
on.
good.
Yeah.
I took it to include my wife too, so it's good enough.
Yeah.
So I charoses the darum. I'm asking this question for me and for my wife. The perfumes. I'm asking for me and for my wife. You know.
I had enough roommates who used right card when I was in yeshiva. I'm done with that.
Yago, I have a coffee grinder, and I only used it for coffee.
As opposed to
Is
what?
that a problem? Well, I used to have a cheap coffee grinder that I used for spices. But this one was Badafka used only for coffee. But it might have been, the container might have been rinsed out, you know, in the sink.
I can't tell you that it's also grind all your coffee before Pesach. That's all.
Yeah, but you're ruining your coffee. It's not good for Yontif.
Not good for Yom, not covered Yom, right?
As
That's what you gotta do.
expert, I'm going to say that's also.
What about raw sugar?
I'm going to say it's.
I don't know
also
anything. I don't know anything about the hechsherim. Right? I don't know about hechsherim. You gotta check the apps for all that stuff.
I'm still waiting for your cheat sheet.
It's an accent song by the Stones.
What?
Nothing.
I'm still waiting for your cheat sheets. You keep on telling me about doing a badika on one room or something, and I can't wait too much longer.
What do you mean? I'm not sending a cheat sheet about that.
I asked you, and you said wait for the cheat sheet. Do I have to clean a room if I'm going away for Pesach?
That cheat sheet was sent out already.
No, it wasn't. You got Pesach prep.
Yeah, did you open it? Did you open it?
Tell him the same thing you told Avi. Naftali, for you, it's fun.
Oh, I didn't know what you meant by Pesach prep. I thought that meant cooking.
Why don't you open it and see? Is that going to cost you so much time?
It's much easier to ask my Google rabbi.
It said the word prep, and he had nightmares from when he went to the doctor.
Oh, Siakov.
Yes.
Is
cheat sheets are getting pretty long.
Chronic pain considered necessary medication?
Yes. Yes. What's the difference necessary? Even if it's not necessary, it's okay.
No, I know, but those who want to be machmir said if it's necessary, don't be machmir. That kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's if you know it has chametz in it. You know it has chametz in it?
I have absolutely no idea. All I know it has hydrogenated morphine in it. That's all I know.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Hydrogenated morphine? That sounds scary.
Yeah, it's 7 times stronger than morphine.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, all right.
Why are people more makbid when it comes to Pesach for these types of yomim than any other yom tov when it comes to those mitzvahs of those yom tovs?
Charoses.
Because of charoses and loibadili inchimine.
Is there be'etzim in Indian, or it just happens to be?
Isn't it be'etzem Indian? It's an Indian not to be chayiv kares, I think.
I understand that, but people go to certain lengths that are not. You don't see in
Yes,
other
they
Yom
get a
Tov.
little crazy. Yes, they get a little crazy. I don't know.
I don't understand. It's so much of a reason. The shach brings it twice in all this taruvas to be machmer and comes.
What?
The shach brings it twice in hilchos taruvas to be machmer and comes more than anything
that's
else.
true. True. And,
I'm saying even to taruvas, not in hilchos Pesach, in hilchos taruvas he brings it. It's
Right.
such a
right, and a chanami. No, so we are machmer more for Pesach, but that's the reason that we're machmer. That is the reason. Yeah. Okay, let's start because we got a lot to do tonight. A lot of stuff that's very negated to the Seder. Yeah, that it will be kedai to spend some time on. Okay, so what do we got to the bottom, right? Bottom of Kuf Tes Vav Amud Beis. Yeah. Amar Shmuel. Yeah. Amar Shmuel, lechem oini. It says lechem oini, right? Which everybody teaches is bread of an oini. Now, what is that? So we all teach it as poor man's bread, right? So that's not the first pshat in the Gemara. It doesn't mean oini. It means lechem sha'oinin alav dvarim. It's bread when we say many things, when we answer, we talk about, right? We talk about many things, right? Because we have the hagada over the matza. Right, lechem oini, lechem sha'oinin alav dvarim harbe. It's lechem that we answer many things. Davar acher lechem oini, oni ksiv. It's written oni, not oini. Ma oni shedarke beprusa, just like an oni. He eats broken bread because he when he schnorres bread, nobody's giving him full loaves of bread. They're giving him little pieces. So too we eat broken bread on broken matza on Pesach. So afkan beprusa. So too on Pesach we also take a broken piece of matza. Let's just finish the two dots and then we'll go back to this. Davar acher ma darke shel ani hu masik ve'ishtoi oifa. It's a derech of an ani that he bakes. He heats up the oven and the wife bakes. Right, meaning they don't have enough wood. The Rashbam says they don't have enough wood to keep the oven hot for that long. Right, so they get their wood, they put it in there. The husband heats it up, and then the wife quickly bakes it. But if it would only be one doing a job, then they're not going to get. It's going to take longer, and then their fire is going to burn out. So afkanami hu masik v'ishtoi oifes. So too, that's what we do on Pesach. That he hu masik v'ishtoi oifa. Yeah. So now the rush on this Gemara. Right, and it's very interesting because in Shulchan Aruch it actually quotes the rush. The minig of the rush is that everybody should bake their own matzahs, that's where the makar for everybody making chaburas and going to bake matzahs with the chabura, etc., comes from this Gemara, because you see from this Gemara that you should be the one to bake the matzahs. Right?
They bring down at the bottom that it's brought down from Rav Haigain, but they say that it's to show that you can't afford anything else, so therefore you have to bake it yourself. Which is ironic. Nowadays, it's the exact opposite. The people that are baking the matzahs are baking it because they could pay a little extra to do that.
Right. Very good. That's very good. You're right. But that's what it means.
It's not the lechem oini. It's rich man's bread when it comes to baking your own matzahs.
Correct. Very good. I like that word, Akiva. But
it's rich man's bread if you're trying to buy it anyway in the store.
And it's very rich man's bread when you're baking it yourself. It costs even more.
Yes, also. You got to rent the space.
Right.
If you go by the pshat that it's poor man's bread, I mean we do, but if that's something. But the whole point of the seder is also cheres, right? So how is eating something that's poor man's bread show cheres?
Oh, that's an excellent question.
What do you mean? You got those
time.
The stripes behind you. They got them for free, right?
The
stripes that's behind you. You got it for free, right?
No, I wish.
Yeah.
I pay more because of the shipping to Florida is a lot more expensive than everywhere else.
I hear. No, Stop and Shop is giving it away. I think.
No, you're right. So what's a shot?
I
meant to look up your question. Uri's asking is that what's with this whole lechem oini business? Where does it come from? Right? Why
Isn't
do you
that
have
the
to
whole
work-
Mah Nishtana? Isn't
Yeah,
that
but
we,
what's
the Mah Nishtana, two of the questions are about our avdus, and two of the questions are about our chayros, and that's mamish the whole. Isn't that the whole
Right,
seder that we say, like, look how we went from avdus to chayros?
Yeah, but
on, like, you know, clarifying.
Yeah, but who says avdus has to do with anius?
But weren't we ba'aniyas when we were in mitzrayim? Lechem oini was that's what we were eating mitzrayim.
Yeah, I mean that's
was definitely tied to avdus. That's all we were able to eat when we were about them.
Right. So then maybe, we said earlier that discussing, I forgot what it was we were discussing. We said at that point in the seder, we haven't reached the point that we're ben chayrin, right? I forgot what we were discussing. It was like last week, I think. And if that's the case, then why have matzah at the point where after we finish Maggid already, we're done with the Yetzias Mitzrayim, right? So you do matzah earlier when you're still in the shibud, no? Wouldn't it make more sense?
So you think
is only poor man's bread or bread of affliction?
Well, it says poor here.
Well, that's some of them touch it as that.
Well, that kills my question. Thanks a lot.
Well, that's exactly my point. Meaning, if we're going according to its affliction, makes more sense. Whereas if it's poor man's bread, then you have a good question, maybe.
If you start going based on the seder of what we're doing throughout the seder, we drink wine at like a melech. So then you did that in the beginning of the seder. How do you reconcile that? I'm saying you can't say based on the seder. You started out
for other things though. We started out we
you leaned when you drank the wine.
I hear. It's a good question. That's okay.
There's a constant contrast between what you're doing throughout the seder.
Right. Yet it's still called the seder.
Oh, so that 1 second, that brings up the David. You reminded me because you were saying the taich of lechem oini, bread of affliction. So I looked into this whole why we don't remove the seder plate from the table like we were discussing yesterday, because the Ma'aser Shulchan Aruch says to do it. The Magen Avraham says that nowadays that's not going to get anybody's attention because nobody eats from the seder plate anyways. There's no real food on the seder plate, so therefore it's not going to get anybody's attention. So therefore there's no point in removing it. Although the Mishnah Brura doesn't go with that. The Mishnah Brura doesn't say that. The Mishnah Brura says you should remove the seder plate. However,
are you allowed to remove it?
Are you allowed to? You're supposed to. It says in Shulchan Aruch you're supposed to. The Gemara says you're supposed to remove it. So the kids ask, where are you going with it? But it's interesting because the Mishnah Brura says you should remove it. And then Reb Hillel Zak said that he knows that the Chavetz Chaim's hagada was not to remove it, even though in the Mishnah Brura he says to remove it, but he himself didn't do it. For whatever that's worth. Right?
Even according to the Magen Avraham, if I, for example, this is a personal question. If I were to get up and remove the Seder plate from the table, my kids would ask, what on earth are you on your feet for? So even according to the Magen Avraham,
yeah. So good. So you should get up and move it, no?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, you could do it. Yeah, you should do it.
Wow.
So what do you mean you don't have real food on the
If it's going to hurt him, you should do it? Come on. What are you putting him up to?
No, because the way in the Shulchan Aruch, the way the Gemara means to say is that whatever, that the table that's in front of everybody, that you put the food there, you just remove it.
Right.
Avi, it's not going to hurt him. Yaakov matted the morphine before already, a half hour ago. So you can take the morphine, get up and move it, and his kids will ask him a better Mah Nishtana. No.
That's Yaakov looks like me wearing pants. You know what I mean? Maybe I should wear pants. So when I stand up, my kids will go, why are you wearing pants?
Parrots.
Well, you're not wearing a shirt. Parrots' meaning is not to wear a shirt by the Seder. So right, Parrots, that's
well, that's a meaning, but Oppenheimer's before Parrots. So
I hear.
Okay, anyways. Where do you think I learned it from?
Okay.
Kittel, no shirt. Kittel equals no shirt.
Okay, so let's see what the Rashi, the Rashbam, and Tosfos all discuss, and it's important. Like people are looking for things to say over by the Seder. The bottom line is, you ask the Hamoinam, why are we holding 3 matzahs by the Seder? It's if the whole point of matzah is to have a broken piece, so just have a broken piece of matzah, right? So the answer to that is
you still need lechem Mishna and Yontif, no?
Correct. So Rashi and the Rashbam and Tosfos say you need lechem Mishna. Okay, so now, fine. So that's why you need 2 pieces of matzah and a broken piece, right? So then why do we take? We say so. What's the mahalach? What do? You say hamaytzi lechem in. You hold all three, right? You say hamaytzi lechem in. Then you drop the bottom matzah because you already said lechem Mishna, and then you say alachilas matzah. Why? Why not just take the middle matzah? Right? If the whole point is the broken piece of matzah, just take the middle matzah. You have your lechem Mishna, the top and the bottom, right? So you got your lechem Mishna. Now the whole point is the broken piece. So take the broken piece and make alachilas matzah.
It's not the whole point is
not enough for people. That's it. It's not enough. That's why.
It's to have this dichotomy of cheres and shibud. The whole night you have cheres and shibud. That's the
okay.
We live in the dichotomy. That's where we live. That's where you find the kedusha of Yiddishkeit in the middle. That's where it is.
That's a machshava dikateret.
Just thinking
very good. Yeah.
Balabatish, when we do yachats, right? We put away the bigger portion of the matzah. Are you allowed to make halachilas matzah on a pachas mikazayis? If I just held the broken one, I may have less than a kazayis of matzah.
No, it's a good point. You're supposed to make sure that you have a kazayis of matzah in each half. If you break it and it's like a 3/4 to a quarter matzah, then you should break it again. Yes, you have to make sure there's kazayis in each one. So the reason is, the Mishnah Berurah says, the reason is because some poskim hold that the achilas matzah goes on the top matzah also. It's a machlokes whether the achilas matzah goes on the broken piece or the top piece. So therefore, there's no reason to have the bottom piece. The bottom piece, you had lechem Mishna, so you drop the bottom. Like this, it's recognizable that you're making the achilas matzah on either the broken piece, which is according to most Rishonim, the achilas matzah is going on the broken piece, or on the top piece, right? Which again, the achilas matzah is going on one or the other, but that's why you drop the bottom, because there's a machlokes of whether the achilas matzah is going on the top full piece or the middle broken piece. So you drop the bottom, but you don't want to leave the bottom. I don't want to say hanging, no pun intended, but you don't want to leave the bottom without doing any mitzvah. So that's why you use the bottom for kairech, right? That's basically the mahalach.
According to those who hold like that second mahalach, that the mitzvahs of achilas matzah is on the top whole one, what's pshat in our Gemara? Aftam beprusa. How do they learn pshat?
I don't know. I'm not sure how they learn it. I have no idea how they learn it. Now, and there's another thing that's very important. Because of this machlokes, right? So you have to break both pieces. Let's say you hold the alachilas matzah goes on the large piece. If you break that and put it into your mouth first, and then it's a hefsek according to those that say it's the broken piece. If you put the broken piece into your mouth first, then it's a hefsek if you put the big one into you. So that's why you're supposed to crack both the top and the middle at the same time and try and at least put a piece of each one into your mouth at the same time. Right, that's a dichotomy too. We're supposed to eat menshluch, and then all of a sudden Pesach we start wolfing things down, right? But that's the hefsek, and that's another reason why you're supposed to eat 2 kazesim. You're supposed to eat 2 kazesim, 1 kazayis from each one to satisfy each opinion.
Are you being mekayim 2 mitzvahs with the Gemara? Like yesterday we had the Gemara in Amud, and it says 2 different dioyrayas when it comes to time will be in the Havamina. The Gemara thought even that would be mavatal. Would they have that same shaila in the Havamina when it comes to this? Then also eating matza and being mekayim mitzvah matza and hoczi?
Yeah, I don't know the chayra.
Meaning, are they mavatal each other's time if you eat them together?
No, because they're both matzah. Lamaisa, they're both matzah.
I know, but they're 2 different mitzvahs. It wasn't about matzahs yesterday. It was about mitzvahs.
No, but the mitzvah,
the
lechem Mishna you had. I don't know if you have to have the lechem Mishna with the achila. I hear what you're saying.
You have 2 kazesim, but why do you have to eat both of these? There's no inyan of one over the other. You're eating 2 kazesim because you want to be 2 different mitzvahs. What does that have to do with eating them, the specific ones for any specific mitzvah?
Right. No, I hear what you're saying.
A quick question: if the brachas are, if one is for the bracha and one is for the mitzvah, right? So why do we not have the same issue by kiddush?
What do you mean?
You have to drink 2 cups of wine. One is for the cup of wine, mitzvah laila, and one is the bracha on bar pregafen.
No, because the bar pregafen goes on wine, even if it's a mitzvah, you're drinking wine. Here the matza, it's a good question you asked me. Here, the hamaitzi lechem in haaretz is going on the matza, right? So you're saying, well, since it's matzah, there's a special mitzvah to eat matzah, so then maybe it shouldn't go on, maybe you have to have a separate, we're saying you have to have a separate piece. But the reason for that is, the reason why you need a separate piece is because we don't know which matzah is the matzah we're eating for hamaitzi, and we don't know which matzah we're eating because of this of the lechem aini. Right? We don't know which one is which. Since we don't know which one is which, we have to have both. By kiddush, we know that we have to make a kiddush on a cup of wine, and a cup of wine, in order to drink it, needs a bar pregafen. Right? But a matzah, it's debatable which matzah is going on which mitzvah. So therefore, we have to have one from each. Yeah.
Is this an Indian thing, or is this in the mitzvah dirabanan, mitzvah chiyuvas dirabanan, and chiyuvas matzah on Seder night?
Yeah.
Will have this suffix, or it's just an Indian?
It's a suffix.
Either way, you're eating matzah.
No.
What difference which matzah it is?
Right. So that's what the Mishnah Berurah says. The Mishnah Berurah says on this, comes out that you have two kezesim. Nowhere in the Gemara does it say you have to have two kezesim. Right? So that's the Mishnah Berurah says this point. The Chazon Ish really says you only have to have one kezayis. You don't have to do this whole two kezayis thing. This is the Mishnah Berurah's way of getting around it, which we said yesterday from the Gemara says don't get involved in the Machlokes. That was a source for not trying to get into Machlokes. But the Chazon Ish, yes, thank you. I meant to point that out. The Chazon Ish disagrees with this. He says, nah, you just need one kezayis, and that's enough. Sort of like what Aaron Zweig is saying. Right? But he still holds his kezayis is much bigger, so it doesn't get you out of anything anyways. Right? But it's all a matter of how you break it down, but you need to have the same amount. Right?
Even if he was makbid on the second kezayis, he wouldn't be makbid on the tzlach for the second kezayis.
L'chayra, right, l'chayra. But it's going to still be pretty close. Yeah, okay, let's see weiter. Afapi she'en charoses mitzvah, even though charoses is not a mitzvah, fine. You still should dip it in. V'ilai mitzvah mishum ma'isla, ma'isila. Why are you bringing it for if it's not a mitzvah? Amravami mishum kafa. It's because of kappa, meaning like we said yesterday, because of the sour, the poison in the mars. You want to temper it. Amravasi kafa dechasa chama, right? What you're gonna, what do you call it? Radish is what's gonna help take care of the lettuce. Kappa dechama karti, and the poison, whatever it is, of the radish would be karti. Our good old, we haven't had karti in a while. The leeks. Kappa de karti chamimi. If you want to take away the sting or whatever it is of the karti, that's hot water. Kappa de kulu chamimi. And if you want to take away the strength of anything, you just put it into hot water. Hadahachi v'hachi, neimahachi. And when you're waiting for the water, so what you say is like this: kafa kafa techirnalach v'leshev v'nasayach l'timni kalosach. Right? Kappa kappa. I remember you and your 7 daughters and 8 daughters-in-law. Rashi in Shabbos just says this is just some sort of chant that takes away. Again, this gets back to what we had last week with the shadim and this and that type of thing. Fine. Rabbi Elazar mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. My mitzvah. What's the mitzvah of charoses? Rabbi Levi Yomer zeicher l'tapuach. It's the zeicher to the apple trees. Right. That's where the women worked together with the husbands. That's where they gave birth, and therefore that continued Klal Yisrael. Rabbi Yochanan Amar zeicher l'tit. It's a zeicher for the mud, right? Because then that looks like mud. Amar Rabbi Hilkoch tzarich l'kahuya. Therefore, you have to make it. Kuya means you have to make it tangy, I guess, right? B'tzarech l'smuche, and you have to make it thick. Tangy because what? Tastes like an apple. Why are apples tangy? So l'chayr, it's a green apple. No? A red delicious apple, l'chayr doesn't cut it, right? It would have to be green apple. You ever heard anybody making charoses with a green apple? Yeah, you make it with a green apple? Yeah?
Sometimes.
Not exclusively, but you mix them.
Yeah, you do? Okay. The truth is, I have no idea how you make charoses. I'm staying far out of the kitchen. But I
tried to make charoses with the recipe of Taisvis.
I hear. Okay, very good. So it sounds like for me, you got to do a green apple, right? Or partially green apple. Unless you use other ingredients to make it tangy, whatever it is. Okay. So lekahuya zeicher letapuach, it's a zeicher for the apple tree. B'tzarach l'smucha, you have to make it thick. Zeicher letit for mud. Tanya kavasei Rav Yochanan. We learned like Rav Yochanan. Tavlin zeicher leteven. Right, spices. You put in spices. That's as a zeicher because it looks like the straw that they had to use to make the bricks. Charoses zeicher letit, and charoses is a zeicher for the mud. Amar Rav Elazar bar Tzadok kacha yoimrim tagre charach shav Yerushalayim. The people, the vendors, right? That's the Yerushalayim say "Bayotlu lachem tavlin lemitzvah." Before Pesach, they would say, "Come get your tavlin for a mitzvah."
So Yaakov,
right? Yeah.
So Yaakov, why are we talking about apples in the Gemara about what needs to be in the charoses when at the time apples weren't even in the area?
And they must have had apple trees. It says they had apple trees. What should I tell you?
No, I'm saying by the time of what do you call it?
In Bavel, you're talking about, or Mitzrayim?
No, in Mitzrayim and stuff like that. They were.
They had apples in India. Maybe they had apples in India.
They had apples came from China. I just looked it up because the history of like foods going back and forth is like an interesting thing. They didn't have apples at the time. So what shaykhs?
At what time? At what time? At what time?
You talking about Mitzrayim or you talking about
Mitzrayim? About Mitzrayim. Why would we lezecher the tapuach when there wasn't a tapuach to be lezecher at the time?
Shira does say that.
Huh?
The pasuk in Shira Shirim is where they got this whole idea from.
Whether
that's allegorical or real, that's where they get it from.
Didn't Shira Shirim come after?
But Shira Shirim is referring to Mitzrayim, that they gave birth to Mitzrayim.
But it could be one of the reasons why Tosfos learns that tapuach is an esrog.
Oh, so 1 second. That whole thing is a big controversy. Now, I mean, I wasn't going to bring it up, but Gershon, you did it again. Okay. There are some that say that a tapuach is not an apple, based on a Tosfos. Where's that Tosfos? Tamura?
We had it in Shabbos.
It wasn't beferish like
brought
that.
it in. No. Yeah.
Whatever it is, there are some that say that in this they want to bring this Gemara as a raya that a tapuach is not an apple, but Klal Yisrael's minig is not like that.
It is so cool he remembered that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but okay, whatever it is. So Tosfos, interestingly enough,
it would help the tardiness.
That's exactly what they're saying. Yeah. Right, that's the third Tosfos on the daf. Tagri charash Yerushalayim mashma the halacha Reb Elazar bar Tzadok v'gam b'sfarim kaza Rab Yosef v'nimuka imay v'chein asa Rab Yosef b'sidrei charoses zeicher letit. Right, what Tosfos is paskening here that it's zeicher letit, which is why. You ask any kid, why are you having charoses? Because of the mud, right? So that's a beferish of Tosfos that we paskin like that. I'm not sure what the nafkamina is.
Nafkamina is whether it's there also instead of that is just to lessen the taste of the maror.
Meaning, so you don't need it to be tart.
Correct.
You don't have it. You don't need it to be tart. Right?
Another nafkamina would be that you because it is a mitzvah. Maybe. It's not. We said before that dirabanan, they won't be mevatel each other.
You loving you, Akiva. You're really taking this one. You're going to write a whole shtickle Torah of Pesach on this, huh?
I'm just saying. We said that yesterday. According to the Svar, that it's a mitzvah. It's not mevatel the time.
You're right. You should write a shtickle Torah on it.
It's like a shir klali.
Yeah, go all the way through the whole sugya with being tam and being matzah, being gavaldig a shtickle Torah. So what are you saying? You're saying that the tam. That's if you hold charoses as a mitzvah.
That's what I'm saying. So we pass it to mitzvah. Not mevatel the time.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, it's pretty late, so let's get going. The rest, I mean, the whole olam should read this together because I would hope everybody knows this next Mishna, right? Mazguloi kais sheni, and then they pour the second kais. V'kan haben shoyel aviv, and then here the son asks the father. V'im ein das beben avim melamdoi, and if there's no das with the son, the father teaches him. Mah Nishtana alayla zeh mikol alaylois shebchol alaylos anu nachlim chametz matza alayla zeh kuloi matza. I think we all know the translation of this. Shebchol alaylos anu nachlim dioyraysa. Maror. Maybe we should make parrots. Maybe we should make parrots say it over in Yiddish, right?
It's the song of the daf.
Very good, Taka. Right.
You can do it at the Siyam. You can do it at the Siyam.
Very good. Yeah.
I want to hear it. Let's go.
I think it will bring up bad memories.
Right. This is a catch. Okay, here we have to stop. Right. All other nights you eat cooked roasted meat and cooked meat. This is mamish for this daf. This one. All other nights we eat roasted meat and cooked meat and deep cooked meat. Who does this every night? Right? As a raya, that's what you're supposed to eat every night. No, can't beat it. Can't beat that raya. Halay lazeh, it actually comes up in the Gemara. Halay lazeh kuloitzli tonight, meaning Pesach night, it's all roasted. Ain anu. Okay, we'll see in the Gemara all these girses. Chayam l'tavel.
When it's all roasted, we can't eat roasted.
What?
You don't eat roasted. Back by the Pesach Seder.
Right.
Okay, now we can't. Okay.
Thank you for pointing it out. That's why this is not part of the Mah Nishtana nowadays, because it's not negeya.
The Rashash asks the kasha. The Rashash learns that what Naftali just asked. Even back then, it wasn't kulait sleep. He said the chagiga could be cooked.
Correct. Oh, I don't know if that's what Naftali was asking, but yeah, that's yeah.
He gets into that. He says,
but that's a machlokes. It's a machlokes. It's only the fetus shita and
Bentema.
Yeah,
Bentema the Rabbanan.
Correct.
But even he learns that all the kashas of Mah Nishtana are they're for the kid to ask, right? So it's what the kid sees at the table at the time, which is just the karet.
Yaakov, can I interrupt a second? Can I interrupt 1 second? I'm sorry. There was apples in Egypt in 1300 BC. Okay.
What is that?
So I don't know whoever said in the daf that there was no apples in Egypt. The internet says there was apples in Egypt the time of Moshe Rabbeinu.
You don't know who said it? You don't know who said it?
No, I don't know who said it.
What if it's not on Yeshiva?
World, BC was
not on Yeshiva
Corona.
World. I don't trust it as a source.
BC was before Corona, Tzviako.
What, before Corona?
Yeah, that's BC.
I hear. So 1300 BC. Okay.
So it's 3,300 years ago. That's the time of mitzrayim. So there was apples there.
That's rather interesting. Yeah, very good.
You realize Google gets it. Google gets it from the Shirim thing. That's
Could be. I didn't go further. I don't want to miss the daf. I just saw that the headline. I put the apples in Egypt.
They probably caught the same Shirim thing.
Ken Zayn.
Very good.
Google. We have encyclopedias on this year.
Maybe Google, maybe Steve Jobs, whoever Google is, he was by somebody Seder. He said Shira Shirim after the hagada.
Very good. Yeah. Okay, so let's see weiter. So halayla zekula shabchol is anu ein anu chayav l'tavel afilu pamachas halayla is a shtei pam. We'll see in the Gemara what the gears, the differences are there. Well, if he's daita shel ben avim melamde, according to the level of the son, the father teaches him maskul begnus. That's, by the way, the source for the 4 sons, right? Because there's 4 types of sons, right? The chacham, rasha, einei de lishal, and tam. Well, tam and einei de lishal. Right? You start with the bad, and you finish off with thanking Hashem, praising Hashem. And you read from Arami Ovid Avi until you finish the whole parsha. Right? That would be the Mishnah. Of course, we added on a lot more to the hagada than just what the Mishnah just had. Fine. So deducting Gemara. The chacham, his son asked of him, Einoi chacham, right? But if he's not a chacham, Ishtay shoyel says it, and his wife. Okay? Vim lav, who shoyel atzma? He has to ask himself. Even if it's 2 Talmidei Chacham, they have to sit and ask Zelazeh. This was actually Nageya last year during Corona, when a lot of newlywed couples sat and had the hagada, the seder by themselves. So
older couples also had the same.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I hear that. Right? Fine. Then Mah Nishtana.
By the way, this last Gemara is the Makara thing. But Friedrich Belzer Rebbe used to say, before Mah Nishtana, every hagada is printed Kan haben shoyel. He says this time, right now in Maggid, is the time that you ask the Eibishter for whatever you want.
Oh, I hear.
Kan haben shoyel. We're all
very good. Is that why you make every kid say it, to be marach in the Eis Ratzon?
Yeah.
I hear. That's why I think it became the minhag that all the families walk down in between the chas and the kala to be marach in the Eis Ratzon, right? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, a little litzonis. Okay. Mah Nishtana
you're right. So this is right, because they used to walk around the Sheshvin, everybody used to walk.
Right.
The
But
whole
they did it together.
Mishpachah walked Sheshvin, not like they do it now. So you can have 400 pictures, but the Sheshvin used to walk now.
Right. 100%. So the maskul rava to call yoimel sagi de metav lechada zimna, meaning the Mah Nishtana sounds like you have to dip every night for supper. What does that mean? You have to dip, right? Again, the Mah Nishtana sounds like every night we dip once. Tonight we dip twice. Who says we dip every night? The kasha is what?
Gemara and brachos.
No, but it doesn't. It sounds like you're chayiv to dip every night.
Okay.
The Gemara is saying that if you dip, that's the regular derech, but you're not chayiv to it. Right, but it sounds like here we're comparing the chiyuv of the Seder night to other nights. There's no chiyuv to right? There's no chiyuv to dip every night. The question is, I think this is what Naftali Liner was asking, that why don't you say the same thing? Why don't we ask the same kasha by Shebachal Aleilos Anu Eichlim Basar Tzli Shalag? We eat meat. What do you mean? You're mechuyev to eat meat? You're not mechuyev to eat meat. The Gemara doesn't ask.
The Rashbam bavarns that a little bit when he says "shar you're up."
Yes,
I think it's the same idea.
It is. You're correct. But anyways, okay. So the Gemara says, "Elam maror b'hachik tanisha b'chol leilos in anu chayavim l'tavel." We're not mechuyev to be metavel afilu pamachas even once. Alayla is that shtei pam. Right. So meaning every other night we don't have to dip even once. Not required to. Tonight we're required to do twice. Maskul of safra chiyuv l'dardiki. Why are we dipping twice? Like we said yesterday, only so that the kids should ask. So you're saying you're chayiv to do something so that the kids should ask? This is what it says. You're not being toivel even one time. But tonight we do it twice, meaning so there's no, we're not saying you're chayiv to do it. We're taking out the word chayiv. We're just saying other nights you potentially dip once, tonight you dip twice. Okay. We start with the negative and we end with praising. My begnus. Rav Amar Metchila Oivdei Avodas Gelulim Hayu Aveseinu. V'Shmuel Amar Avodim Ayinu. Rav says we start with Metchila Oivdei Avodas Azara Hayu Aveseinu, and Shmuel says Avodim Ayinu. Who do we paskin like?
I guess both. We have both of them in the hagada.
Very good. So obviously, just like yesterday, we said we're going to paskin like Hillel and the Rabbanon. So too here we paskin like Rav and Shmuel. Right now, I just want to stop you for a second, because I don't know if the Olam will chop this. I looked it up today, so that's why I could chop it. I saw this last year in a hagada. I forget what the name of the hagada is. He goes through the Pashut Pshat in the hagada. He says it's Pashut that we paskin like Rav and Shmuel. How's it set up? We say Mah Nishtana, which is 4 questions. What do we answer? Avodim Ayinu, like Shmuel, right? What comes right after that? The 4 sons, and each son asks a question, right? And what do we say after that? That's Rav and Shmuel. That's why they set it up. The first one is Shmuel, right? The Mah Nishtana with the questions. We answer Avodim Ayinu Lefi Shmuel, and then we ask the 4 sons. Each one asks a question. Right, 4 questions, and then when we answer them, wouldn't
that mean though that we paskin like Shmuel though, because he's coming first?
Because he went first. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
Just like in the case by the Hello Sandwich, I forget what it's called now.
Right.
They're just throwing. I don't want to say just throwing in there Khalila, but like just to be Yotze every possible situation, we'll throw it in there too. Like that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's true. But you're right. Shmuel goes first.
Like the shlam, Tvilas Nida.
The what?
To get the shlam, Tvilas Nida, to get the mechaber and the Ramah.
Oh, you mean that? Yeah.
Same idea.
Or mezuzah on an angle. That one I really don't understand. Mezuzah on an angle, that one I don't. But there's no sheet that holds mezuzah goes on an angle. It's either straight up or flat. So we do it on an angle. So what? So now we have all sheetas, but no sheetas. Okay, whatever. Obviously, that's a deep.
It's like 3 hours. It's like 3 hours in between milk and the flakes milkers.
There you go. Okay, fine.
Hey.
That's for you, Jesse.
Okay, so that's a pashup shot in the hagada. Fine. Amalei Rav Nachman Ladaro Avdei the Olam should ask a kasha from this Gemara straight on the Gemara that we had yesterday. Amr lei Rav Nachman leDaru Avdei. Rav Nachman told Daru, his servant, Avda demapik lei mari lecheres. If an eved, if his master frees him, v'yav lei kaspa v'dava, and he gives him gold and silver, my boy lememar lei. What should he tell his master? Amr lei boy ladui l'shvuchi. He should thank him and he should be meshabeach him, praise him. Amr lei. So I bazai patasan milaymer Mah Nishtana. You patur us from saying Mah Nishtana, pasav amar avadim hayinu, and then he started with avadim hayinu, which again maybe that's why Taka Simon, because he says like Shmuel, right? So l'chera, that's why Shmuel would go first, because you bring the Maisa and he did it like Shmuel. So Maisa Rav is always very important in how you paskin. So he clearly went with Shmuel. That's probably why we do Shmuel first. Yeah. But anyways, he said to him that he pattered him for Mah Nishtana. He didn't ask any questions. What? How can you say he's pattered from Mah Nishtana? He didn't ask one question to Eved. Right? So the Ranchberg, the Hagoyas Ranchberg says, Ayin Toisus, right? Ayin Toisus before that we had yesterday that says that it's a l'chayra, it's a stira from the Toisus. So you really have to say that there's a girsa difference here, that he must have asked questions. It can't be that he just didn't ask any questions. Yeah. Okay, so let's see about this. Zog the Mishna, right? Ram Gamliel said, Kol Shaloi Omar, right? Whoever doesn't say Kol Shaloi Omar, Shloisha Dvarim Elu Pesach, Lo Yotzei Dei Chavasa, is not Yotzei His Chiyuv. Right? So, and you have to explain it. It doesn't mean that you just say it. You're not Yotzei Chiyuv. Pesach matza maror. Pesach Hashem shepasach hamakam avatei avasen mitzrayim. That they jumped over the houses. Hashem jumped over the house. Shenever matam zeva Pesach ul Hashem shepasach. Matza Hashem shenigulu avaseinu mitzrayim. Shenever vayobes abatzek asher etzienu mitzrayim. They baked the dough. Maror Hashem shemeru mitzrayim es chayav avasen mitzrayim. Shenever yimor es chayav. Fine. V'chol davar dor chayav adam liros es atzmai ki ilu hu yatza mi mitzrayim. Every door you have to look at it as if you have to treat it as if you yourself went out of Mitzrayim. Shenemar v'gadol v'incha b'yemahu lema b'avur zeh asa Hashem li b'tzeisi mitzrayim. Right? The Brisker Rav is quoted as saying that the hardest mitzvah in the Torah for him is this mitzvah. To make yourself as if you mamish just came out of Mitzrayim, that's a difficult thing to do. And the Brisker Rav was a man that had control over his mind, I would think, right? And he said it's extremely difficult. So it's not a pashut thing at all. But that's what you have to do. And we pass like this. There's seven praises that are said here. Toisus on Amud Aleph, which really belongs on Amud Beis, says that's for the seven rakiyas, the seven heavens, right? You don't go more than the seven heavens. The Misha also said was called Nisim Ha'elu Hatzionu Mi'avdas L'cheres Mi'yogim V'Simcha Me'ev L'Yamtiv Me'efel L'Argadol M'Shiva L'Gula B'Naim L'Fanav Hallelujah. Right? Ad Hechan Hu Aimer. How far do you go with this Hallelujah? B'Shama Yorim Ad Eim Habanim Smecha. U'V'Stil Yorim Ad Chalamish L'Maynei Mayim. Fine. B'Chaisim B'Geula, and you're Chaisim B'Geula. But he doesn't say what the Geula is. He just finish off by saying something about Hashem redeeming us. Reb Tarfon, he disagrees. He says, Asher Galonu v'Galas Avesenu Mitzrayim v'Lo Chaisim. He just says, Galonu v'Galas Avesenu Mitzrayim. There's no Baruch Atah Hashem. Right? Reb Akiva Aimer, Kain Hashem Elokeinu v'Elokei Avesenu Yagienu l'Mayadim v'Lugalim Acherim v'Bayim l'Krosenu l'Shalom Smechem v'Nei Yirecha v'Sasim v'Vadezechem v'Noichel Shomen v'Sachem v'Nazvachim Naftali. That's what you were referring to yesterday. Right? We switch it. Yeah. This year we switch it to Menazvachim and Psachim. Ad Baruch Atah Hashem Go'al Yisrael, which obviously we paskin like the second shita. Fine.
Well, really, we paskin like all of them because we say all those.
Well, no, the shvach we say before. That's for sure. Then there's just a
but
type of gula.
What I'm saying is we say the words of Rabbi Tarfon Asher Galonu v'Galas, as I was saying, no?
Right.
That's how we start the bracha, and then we continue on with Rabbi Kiva's words.
Yeah.
Okay, another situation where we take it all.
Yeah, but it's an interesting zach that Pesach night we're trying to get all the shitas, right?
I
don't know if
the
it's
point
so
of
much.
Tarfon was there's no bracha.
And then we wonder why it's a challenge to eat before chatzos.
Hey, we wonder why it's a challenge. Yeah,
we take every opinion and we say everything we possibly can.
Right.
And we
right.
eat two kazesim and we do everything. And then we want to know why it's so much pressure to eat before chatzos.
Yeah, I hear that. I want to say a musar vart. I want to say
don't give in to the pressure, Shmuel David.
Very good. So I want to say a musar vart is that whenever Klal Yisrael goes through a tzara and comes out together, there's an achtus, right? So we're supposed to look at ourselves like when we got out of mitzrayim, there was an achtus. Didn't last that long, but there was an achtus, right? Unfortunately, it didn't last, but that's what's going. We try and get everybody's shita in because we're so happy with each other that we're all alive together. So that's just a musar vart. I don't know. Okay, so Gemara. Omar Rava. Tzarich sheyaymar va'otenu hutzie misham. You have to say this lashon too. And he took us out of there. Omar Rava, right? So I mean, where is he sticking it in? He's sticking it into b'chol davar dar chayav adam etc. He's sticking in va'otenu hutzie misham. Fine. Omar Rava, matza tzarich lagbiya. You have to lift up the matza. Maror tzarich lagbiya, and the maror you have to pick it up. Basar, right? The shank bone, what we use as a shank bone, ain't tzarich lagbiya. Right? I almost make this mistake every year. I start reaching for it and then I scratch. Like the Salach Lono by Mincha, and on Shabbos you go, that's like I start reaching, then I scratch my head.
And then you can wash your hands again,
correct. Very good. Very good. Right. Not only that, but it's going to look like you're eating kachim b'chutz. Right?
Yaakov, if you take out a piece of chicken, I don't know why that's near come back to kachim b'chutz though. If you have a little shank bone that's from a piece of chicken, how does that even look like that?
If I just lift it up, that looks like I'm going to eat it.
No, I'm saying chicken's not part of the carbon.
Okay.
No, but I'm saying if I lift it up, it looks like I'm going to eat it.
No, but it looks you're saying very good. If you ask the Hamoinam and you ask myself till I learned this Gemara, and say, why don't you lift up the shank bone? What's the answer? Because it looks like you're making kachim b'chutz, right? That's not the first answer. That's the second answer. The first answer, it doesn't say why. It just says don't lift it up. And the reason is exactly what you're saying, David. The Rashbam says, Ein tzarich lagbiya the haloi matzi l'memer Pesach zeh. You can't say Pesach zeh. It's not the Pesach. It's a chicken. Or whatever, it's not the pet. Meaning matzah is the mitzvah that you're being dioyraysa. You're picking up matzah. You're saying, why are we eating this matzah? So you pick up the matzah. Why are we eating this maror? So you pick up the maror. Then you say, why are we eating carbon Pesach? You're not eating this as carbon. Unfortunately, there is no carbon Pesach.
But
Right?
then he goes on to say the Rashbam goes on it would be near a.
That's the Gemara. That's the Gemara.
Why? It's a chicken.
No, but. And that's only because we use a chicken for whatever reason.
I'm just saying.
And Achanami, Lafi our minig that we use a chicken, it's a problem. Yes, but we shouldn't use a chicken.
What were they using then? They're actually using real meat.
I think so. I think that would make more sense. I think a lot of.
Why don't we do that nowadays? Why don't we?
I have no idea. I know it's a good thing to research. That I'll try and research.
We went cheap on the meat.
Maybe.
I mean, some people do. Use a real shank bone.
Yeah, get a shank bone. I get like a lamb bone.
You can get them in any store. We used to sell hundreds of them at Brock's and
we sell them. Everybody gets one. You give one away.
Yeah, they're not chicken.
Every customer gets one.
I've never heard anyone use chicken.
We have a different lashon by Pesach.
What are you saying?
We have a different lashon by Pesach. When we say matza, we say matza zu, and when we say maror, we say matza zeh. But when it comes in the hagada, but when we say the Pesach, show you other sinochem bizman b'shabes amigdash hayakayim.
Right, very good. That's a good deal. That's very good. It doesn't say Pesach there. Very good. Thank you.
That's because of this.
Because of this.
Right.
Exactly right. So he's saying it's because of this. And then to go pick it up really makes no sense. Very good. Very good.
It looks like Rava changed the girsa in the hagada. Rabbi Gamliel's words, there's no zeh.
It describes it. Pesach's.
Yeah, no, that's very good. That's a very good deal. Anyway, so it comes out that the main reason is not because basar kachim b'chutz. It's the main reason is because there's no point to lifting it up. You can't say it. It's like saying a sheker, right? I mean, the Rashbam doesn't say that, but I'm saying that as a trying to be masbir. Okay. Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov Suma patur milaymar hagada. Suma's patur from hagada. Ksiv hachabavur zeh. It says here Ksiv hasam b'neinu zeh. It says this is our son. Referring to Ben Sarah Murder. Malal and Prat Suma. There we say a Suma can't be. Afkan Prat Suma. So Sumin. So here too can't be Sumin. So I'm going to ask, and it's not true. Maremer says, Shaltinu l'Rabbanan devei Rav Yosef, man do'amar hagada devei Rav Yosef. Who was the one that led the hagada by Rav Yosef's house? Amru, they said, Rav Yosef. Man do'amar hagada devei Rav Sheshes. Amru, they said it was Rav Sheshes, who were both blind. So how could they, if you're saying a suma's patur, how could they have led the seder? Which again, I don't know who said this. I think Rebbeinu said it the other day. It sounds like only the leader led it. If everybody read the hagada, so what's the problem? Right? It's mashma here that only the leader of the seder reads the haggadah, not anybody else. Okay. So kasavi rabbanan matza b'zman hazeh dirabanan.
Try keeping everybody up. If only the leader's reading.
That's probably where it came from.
Just big challenge.
You're right. So it's kasavi rabbanan matza b'zman hazeh dirabanan. The rabbanan know that matza b'zman hazeh is the dirabanan. So since it's the rabbanan, so therefore, and they so you have to say that they were chayim in the rabbanan, and they're being mitzvah everybody in the dirabanan. So the Gemara says, Mechlada Rav Acha bar Yaakov, Savar matza b'zman hazeh dioyraysa. If that's the case, for Rav Acha bar Yaakov, who damar matza b'zman hazeh dirabanan, he said it's the Rabbanan. So Kasavar called the Tikkun Rabbanan came the dioyraysa. No, it's the Rabbanan, but we always want to fit the Rabbanan into the dioyraysa. The Rav Sheshes, Rav Yosef Nami Hovada, he called the Tikkun Rabbanan came the dioyraysa Tikkun. The Rav Sheshes and Rav Yosef also, they're going to say came the dioyraysa. So why would they lead the Seder if they're blind? No, this is how you have to say it. Over there, it could have said Benenu Hu. Doesn't have to say Benenu Zeh. Benenu Zeh, Shmamino Prat L'Suman. Who does? It's coming to exclude Suman. But here, Ila Bavru Zeh. If not for Bavru Zeh, Mai Lichtay. What should you write? Ella Bavur Matzo Mar Hu Da Asa. What it means, it's coming to tell you that Matzo. It's coming to teach Matzo Mar, not teaching anything. It's teaching that matzu maror that they don't what do you call it? They're patur from the hagada totally. So you don't have to say that called the tikkun rabbanan came dioyraysa tikkun. Okay, fine. Well, I guess we'll stop here. Shkaya for all the ha'aras. Shkaya. Some good ha'aras tonight. We should come out with the hagada of the daf. Yeah, very good. All right. Have a good night. Okay.
Thank you.
I read your cheat sheet, by the way. It doesn't answer my question.
Why not?
Do I have to be?
Hold on, Lando. You read it when? We started the daf.
No, he read it. He just finished it 2 minutes ago.
In your face.
All right. No meat for you, but see him. I'm sorry. You got to make this. You know what I mean?
I didn't get meat last time. I got vegetables. I got the vegetable platter.
You know you're going to be in trouble because he's going to show you exactly where it says it.
No, I understand that part. I'm saying where I am staying for Pesach. Do I do my own badiko or the?
It's in the sheet.
It's not in the sheet. Come on.
Of course it's in the sheet.
Come on already. The sheets are too long. It doesn't say.
That's a different story.
Is it in the sheet or not in the sheet, or is it just you're lazy and it's too long?
Especially you had the whole daf to look at.
No. I know about mi b'du b'dika in my house. I'm talking about in the house that I'm staying in.
He understood what you said and he answered you.
No, it's not.
It's there.
Of course you have to do it there.
It is there.
You have to do it at your house before you leave. What's wrong?
Yes. Okay, I do it without a bracha before I leave because I'm leaving before the night of the b'dika. Fine. The person I'm staying by, in-laws. Do I do my own b'dika?
In your room.
Read the sheet.
Where does it say that? I want to see what it says.
It's the same thing as going to a hotel, I think. No.
You can do. It has all the options. It
has different options, right?
No, that's something else.
I didn't even
look at the room.
He's going to tell you just check.
That's something else. I'm
in Lakewood.
I'm talking about my own.
Get out of here. I'm in Lakewood, so I'm going to head out. So I'm going to sign off. You guys can fight. Let me know what you come out with.
I'll argue with him. I'll
argue with me. What do you do in the house where you're staying at?
Every house has to have bedikas chametz. Every
correct, but do I, as my personal, have to do my own?
You could either be yotzi with your in-laws. You could
sheet.
rent the room and do it yourself.
Sheet.
It's all in the sheet.
It's not in the sheet.
It's there every year.
It's not in the sheet.
Every year. I could tell you I've seen it for 15 years.
Not in the sheet. You guys are nuts. Show me in the sheet.
Naftali, I've never seen the sheet in my life, and I'm telling you it's in the sheet.
It's not in the sheet.
The bottom line is you can rely on the balabas.
Oh my!
Where does it say that? Where does it say that?
Oh my gosh.
All you people, I want to see where it says it.
Linda, why don't you just ask an actual Shiloh as opposed to attacking his sheet?
No, because every time I ask him a question, he says on the sheet.
Naftali, I love you.
Yes.
Dude, is South Bend on the way to Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Really?
How do you go?
I don't know, 80 to 90?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, before I get to Chicago, right?
Yeah. It's
All right,
on
so
the
we're
way
coming
to
for
Chicago.
supper.
What?
We're coming for supper.
If you had told me this, when are you coming?
Next week.
Idiot.
What, you're not going to come to me? You're going to go to him?
Why? You're not in the way. First of all, I asked you about the barbecue. You didn't even know anything about the barbecue.
Wait. Stop. I don't care about Gershi right now. I love you, sign off. Linda, what day are you?
Wednesday.
What?
Wednesday.
You're leaving Wednesday, or you'll
I'm driving Wednesday morning. So figure South Bend by Wednesday afternoon.
It's 12
you
hours.
flying or driving?
By the way,
Huh?
no, one second. Naftali,
Yeah.
Naftali, you hear me? I'm going to read. B'tigas chametz for those leaving home for Pesach, right there.
Yes.
Leaving the entire. What's that? No, you
Yeah.
stuck your foot in your mouth. Let me finish. Read the whole paragraph. Leaving the entire Pesach before the night of B'tigas chametz, 14th night of Nisan. 3 options. 1, have in mind to sell the entire house apartment to the guy except for 1 room. In that room, do B'tigas chametz the night before you leave without a bracha. 2, sell the entire house, apartment to the guy. Rent the room where you are going to be staying on B'tigas chametz night from the owner. It says it right there. This will require
That's
you
another
to check
option.
it that night.
What if I don't
Right.
do that option?
What?
He says you have 3 options.
One second. There's more, right? A bracha can be said on
This will
Kedika.
require you to check it that night.
Do both of the above. You could do both, okay?
Right.
Leaving the entire chametz.
Or
okay?
one or the other.
Right. Leaving the entire Pesach, but lending out, what's it called?
No,
Leaving
that's not
one second.
Nagaya. That's not Nagaya. So if I left before B'tikas night, I have 3 options. So let's say I do the first option where I just do B'tika on the 1 room in my house. Now,
Right.
the one where I'm staying, do I have to do B'tika there too?
No, you have in mind with your father-in-law. No, your father-in-law judges it. You don't have to. That's what he says. If you
Okay.
want to make the bracha, then you rent the room.
Got it. I got it. Okay.
what he
It
says.
wasn't set out like that, but now I get it. Shkayach.
Oh, this was recorded.
That's why you're the right-hand man. That's why you're the right-hand man. Because you get.
All right.
Tully,
I didn't want to. Okay. I hope this gets
now that
erased.
you know this, look at the Mishnah Brura.
What do you mean? I said he has it in it. Okay.
Not
Go
gonna.
He has it in
Ryan,
the
thank
sheet.
you very much.
He wasn't looking in the sheet. He's gonna look in the Mishnah Brura.
Yeah, come on. I'm not even
He still
sure.
doesn't believe
Have a
it's
good
in the
night.
sheet.
Good night. Thank you.
Gershi, I'm not even sure he knows how to read at this point. Wait, Naftali.
Yeah.
Can you hold on? I'll call you out.
We'll talk. Bye.
Yeah.
Gersh, I got to talk to you too. Bye.
Exactly.
Night.